$H Fresh at the Flyboy Way. That's TheFlyBoyway. Don't ask why. Just check out the channel. Man, I don't know if it's a psychological thing or if it's a realistic thing, but the closer and closer I get to turning 40, I feel like more sleep is required. I don't know if this is I don't know if this is a psychological thing or if it's just a real thing, but I'm turning 40 next month, and I kid you not, for the last give or take 3, 4, 5 weeks, I've been going to sleep earlier, like 11:30, waking up a little bit more tired. You know what I mean? But I've been doing a lot, so I guess that might make up for it. But welcome to Jeep Talk episode 26. Are you willing to die on that hill? Now, I know this is a saying that I guess they used to say back in the day. Are you willing to die on this hill? There's been a lot of different updates to how this, really, how to say it, how to quote it. But basically, the principle is, whatever you're doing, are you willing to give your all and fight for it for everything? Now, let me correct some things though. Giving your all doesn't mean being dumb. It doesn't mean if I really want to be a basketball player, am I doing everything? It doesn't mean I got to do everything, like not work, not go to school, not take care of my family, just be a basketball player. That's not what dying on the hill is. Dying on the hill is, are you willing to stand up for something you truly believe? Another way to say it. Are you willing to stand up for something you truly believe in? When I started YouTube, even before I started YouTube, when I started life as an adult at 18, I wanted to get my message out. I wanted to tell my story. And at the time, rap and hip hop was the biggest thing that everyone did on the Jeep. And I was like, all right, well, I'm going to tell my story out through rap because I got to find a way to tell my story. And even before rap, I did poetry because poetry was a way that I could tell my story. And when I said I want to tell my story, I was willing to. I've always been willing to die on the hill of telling my story, no matter what bad things it comes with. Because everything is not going to just be peaches and cream, sweet and easy to do with no consequences, with no repercussions, with nothing that is going to make you not want to continue that path. But before I ever start anything I do, it's always, am I willing to die on that hill? So I started with poetry, and I did poetry. I was like, all right, poetry's not going to get me to the level to be able to get access to the people who I think can use or benefit from me telling my story to them. So let me go up to another step higher. Let me do hip hop. So I joined my cousin and them, and shout out to my cousin, Killer Kurt Cobain, also known as Unicorn 151, who's a big Jersey artist. He was one of the pioneers, if not the top 2 pioneers, who started the whole rapping over club beat thing, which is real famous now. You heard it on the Baby record. You heard it on Coil Ray record, a lot of other people's records. And I started rapping with them. And I was like, all right, if this is the way I gotta tell my story, I'm gonna do it. Eventually, I felt as though because of the connections I was able to make, they wanted me to be something that I was not, which would stop me from telling my story. Now, I could have got more famous for it. I'm a very good writer. If you guys don't see how creative I am when I make my YouTube videos, I am a very good creator, and I have a lot of imagination, and real life too. So yes, I could have wrote for more people. I could have did other stuff, but it wouldn't have been. I would have had substituted fame for telling my story, and I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready to do that. I'll die. I was like, I'll die on the hill of not being famous as long as I'm able to tell my story. And then YouTube came along, and I started traveling more. And on YouTube, I was able to tell my story and without anyone saying you can't do it. But when YouTube crossed over to monetization, it became a little different because I was able to tell my story without anyone saying anything to it, but my story would get not pushed out, or it would get quote unquote shadow banned, because a lot of the ethnic things that I've done, that I do in my life, aren't accepted by the general public. For example, before YouTube changed the and a lot of people don't understand why I just started doing snacks on YouTube. I've been living this way since I was 18, with women having fun and dancing and stuff like that. But YouTube, and I love YouTube for what it does and what it allows. But YouTube, because at the time it had not culturally understood black culture, they would say if a woman was shaking her butt on camera, we're not going to push it out to people because advertisers don't want to monetize this. That was the language. At that time, I could have said, you know what? Let me curse everybody out and say, yo, I don't support guys that put women on pages. I don't support guys who, keep having women dancing. I could have went that route, but I was ready to die on the hill of being able to tell my story, knowing that YouTube did not want, or I don't say accept, YouTube did not want to put this type of culture of the twerking, of the women and nudity, of going to certain clubs and stuff on YouTube. But I was ready to die on that hill, so I never switched up. And there's nothing wrong with people that switch up. You got to understand, everyone has a different plan. Everyone is not ready to die on the same hill. But again, as I said earlier, when I started, it was all about telling my story. So I was ready to die on that hill. As I started seeing people grow and people do stuff that maybe I wouldn't have done, I never passed judgment on them and say, hey, maybe they're not willing to die on the hill because they switched up. Because I understand everyone's hill is different. What everyone is, some people say, you know what? And there's nothing wrong with it. Some people say, if I gotta make a certain type of content so I can get more known on YouTube, that's what I'm going to do. Cool. Some people said, once they tell me I can't make this content no more, I'll switch up again. I'll follow the algorithm. Cool. And maybe that's the hill they was willing to die on. They was willing to die on the hill of, I will do anything to make me famous, to make me known. And that's nothing wrong with that, y'all. We gotta stop having this imagination that everyone has the same principles and morals, because it doesn't. And realistically, everyone doesn't have the same principles and morals. And one person's morals and principles is not better than the next person's. Shout out to Rome, salute. Quill, what's up? Alright, so Quill says shadow banning doesn't exist on YouTube. You can still put whatever videos, shorts you want, will not be different from any other video. Okay, let me try to break it down for people who haven't been on YouTube for over 15 years, like I have. I've been on YouTube for 15 years. Before YouTube, I was on MySpace. At a time before they put that twerking was allowed, if you put a video up on YouTube, and remember, this is when YouTube monetization became, and it's going to get a little scratchy because we're going through hills. This is when YouTube monetization became apparent. When monetization became a thing on YouTube, YouTube would promote and push out the videos in which more advertisers would want to support. And the videos that more advertisers wouldn't want to support, or they believe that they wouldn't want to support, they would not push it out at the same equivalent. The videos gave you, when they made the decision to say, hey, there's going to be a yellow check mark and a green check mark, that was the way that you can slow the progress down on the video. Now, it doesn't mean that it will always slow the progress down. It doesn't mean that it will always slow the progress down. But what it means is that yellow check mark is slowing you down receiving giving it maximum, no matter how many stats is the same. For example, 2 videos. One video has a retention rate of 16. The other video has a retention rate of 16. One video has 10,000 views. Both have the amount of length of time that people watch it. Do you know the difference? The difference is one video has a green check mark and one video has a yellow check mark. One video was pushed out to 4 million people because it had a green check mark, which is more advertiser friendly. And come on, we're not saying this is a bad thing. We're not saying this is a bad thing. This is what you do when you want to make advertiser friendly content. The other video was pushed out to 20,000 people. So out of 20,000 people, it got 10,000 views. Out of 2 million people, it got, cool. But for me, it's a similar thing. But the thing is that I've always been cool with that. And I still put out the content because I will die on the hill of being able to tell my story the way it is. And I think a lot of people, as you see people, flip-flop on what their stance is, you'll see people mass produce the same amount of content. And a lot of people are not willing to die on the hill of what they really wanted to do. They just want to get the bread, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I'm willing to die on the hill of telling my story. So, hold on a second, I can stop now. Hold up. Just Mel, what's up, bro? Hey, I don't even know what you're talking about, bro. Just came on here because I missed you. I miss you too, bro, man. I know right now your social media thing you're taking a break from, and I'm trying to make sure you can keep on that path, bro. But you know me, I'll be on the grind, man. Another G. I'll be on the grind, just, you know what I mean? But we, hopefully you hit me up and we figure out what we're gonna do for your birthday, man. I mean, I still got them days off. Shout out to my bro in the room, just met my brother. He says, then it's better to follow the guidelines points for you, man. See, Quill, that's the thing. I never knock someone who's willing to transmogrify or change their story to wishes. But to me, I that you only have one life to live. And if I only have one life, then I'm going to tell my story the way I see it. Whether I make money or not, whether I make money from it or whether it gets sent out to way more people, that's here nor there. But I do still point it out because when you decide that you want to tell a certain story, if you decide that you want to go and you want to protest, you want to go and you want to show the hood then you have to, and I said it before, you have to be willing to take the consequences or the non-promotion that comes with it. You have to be willing to die on that hill. And the more you flip-flop, the more it becomes difficult for people to know whether or not you're serious about something or if you're just doing it for the money. Or if you're just doing it for the notoriety. But me, we back, y'all. We back. We back. Hey, yo, shout out to the 215. What up, man? Right now, not yet, Megatron. Right now, YouTube allows us. YouTube at some point, I believe, I could be wrong, but at some point within the last couple years, YouTube has understood that a certain type of lifestyle is based on the culture of a certain group of people. And when you allow video rappers and singers that's twerking and outfits to be monetized and to be promoted, but you don't allow a person showing their real life where that same stuff happens on, it can come off as bias to a race or culture. I feel as though YouTube has came to this conclusion of understanding, rather, because partially of what happened with the Corey Kenshin thing. If you haven't seen the whole Corey Kenshin thing, you might want to watch it. It's like a couple years back. And other creators who were saying, hey, you're not promoting this, but promoting this is kind of hypocritical. So now YouTube allows us to put up videos like my snacks. But if it wasn't for the fact that I stay consistent on dying on the hill of this is the type of lifestyle I live, and this is part of my culture, and this is what I'm going to put up whether it makes money or not, there's a chance that YouTube would say, "Yo, you switched up, so we're just gonna keep doing it because you switched up. You never stay consistent. You never stay consistent with saying that this is who I am. This is my culture. This is what I do. You switched up when we said you couldn't get paid for it. So now that we've come back and we said now you can get paid for it. Now, man, you want to switch back? We're gonna still limit it. But for me, I don't have that issue. Like again, anybody that's watched my videos since Uber Beats 2020, anybody that's watched my videos since Dubai, they know that I was the person who got yellow check. Even when I went to the shout out to YouTube Black for inviting me, and YouTube for inviting me to Hollywood. YouTube invited me to Hollywood to go and to a private screening of YouTube Black Flowers, where they give out Black creators flowers for what they did. YouTube checked every single creator on that list, and YouTube's creative team studied they studied their page. It wasn't like they just went by the views. They studied each of their page to qualify people to bring them to this thing. And I was one of the people that got invited. Trust me, I was just as confused as the people who saw me there. At that time, I had tons of shorts with yellow check marks. Another G. I had tons of shorts with yellow check marks. This is right before they made the switch of being able to show lifestyle that we live in. A lot of us live in our Black culture. After that show, they made a change, and they spoke to us and said, "Hey," they didn't say. This is gonna mess it up. They didn't say that we like the views. We like the fact that you got a lot of subscribers. We gotta like the fact that you did any of this. We just like the fact that you stay consistent in what you're gonna do. I think that what we're not willing to do is, as the money dries up with advertising, as the money dries up with content creating. Like I just watched a video the other day, I think it was on like Anton Daniels' channel or something like that, where he was reviewing a guy who said he just got laid off from his job, and what he's going to do is he's going to become a full-time content creator. See, the issue with this in 2024 is that when you become a full-time content creator, mind you, the guy didn't have over 30,000 subscribers or 1 million video. I don't understand the whole concept of it. I understand that's part of dying on the hill, but I do also believe that you got to have some kind of realistic thing. I mean, if you don't have kids, whatever, but you got to have some kind of realistic thing. But if you're going to be a content creator going into, oh, she look good, little cop, going into 2024, and that's what you plan on being your main thing, even though content creating is predicted to grow at a larger rate, then you're willing to do anything, and you're not willing to stand on it, because you're gonna have to be willing to do anything, because as everything changes, you're gonna have to change with it, and you forget what hill you stood on. So like, shout out to Industry for Keys. What's going on, man? So again, y'all, welcome to G Talk episode 26. Are you willing to die on that hill? A lot of people, I feel as though they're gonna have a hard time when the economy changes. There's not a lot of promotion. People start making less money on YouTube, and they gotta choose if they're willing to flip-flop on the type of content they make, or if they're gonna die on the hill and keep doing what they feel as though is what they want to do. And we've like I said, I told you earlier, we've seen in the past where YouTube stood on principles with saying that we don't want this twerking, we don't want this dancing, and now they switched up and said, hey, we allow it now. And the people who stuck with it, like myself, now we don't get yellow check marks a lot. I think, well, at least I can only speak for myself. Now we get yellow check marks a lot, but they turn green faster. But as the economy changes, unless advertisers want to advertise, are you going to start changing your content up to get there? For me, shout out to Industry Keys. He asked me the other day, he on his live, Industry Keys said the other day, he was seeing what I was doing with the video game thing, and he didn't understand it. So let me try to break it down for everybody. My channel has always been about my life and every different part of my life. But I understand in telling your story on YouTube, if you want to reach the most people and you want to be genuinely die on the hill you want to stand with, sometimes you have to stay consistent with just the one or two or three areas, rather 3 areas I think it is, that you're going to tell in your story, or your channel won't grow. For example, my channel is family, fun, finance. Under fun is a lot of travel. Travel is what I do for fun. So that's going to be the most stuff you see on my channel. But then you see family, you see finance. Now, the whole time, I've always been a video game player. I've always been a video game player. And I always listen, even though I don't agree with a lot of people when they say, I listen to everybody that says something. And or I listen, even though I might tell you that I'm not going to say, I listen to people. So when someone has said they feel as though I'm not doing a lot of lives anymore, which I'm really not, but I say, you know what? Let me do something that can give people a chance to talk to me, but I still don't have to sit up there and just be available with having nothing to say. So I started the Jeep Talk. That's one thing. Welcome to Jeep Talk. Another way is I play video games. The whole time I've been doing the channel, I play a lot of video games because when I'm in the States, to stack up and go internationally, I don't go out much. I invite women over, I play video games. So I said, let me open that part up for people. So I started a video game channel. But the thing about the video game channel is that it doesn't allow the people that are already following me to have a chance to talk, converse, maybe join the game with me and stuff like this. So I said, okay, now I'm going to do every Sunday, I'm going to do video games. And the reason why I'm able to do that now is because I don't have to worry about reaching a receipt. Like 100,000 subscribers was never something I aimed for. It was never something I thought, oh, I had to have. But it is something that will make people listen more because you got the receipt. A 1 million view video is not something that I say, oh, I'm striving for. But it's something that I feel as though you have to have if you want to say, yo, if you're going to listen to me, look at my receipts. 25 million views short, same way. So now that I don't have to do anything to leave as a receipt, I can really show you all aspects of me, which is the video game. So on Sundays, the video gaming, I get to play video games with subscribers, play video games with supporters. The other day I was playing Grand Theft Auto 5 with Sin City. Shout out to Sin City. The other day I was playing Fortnite with one of the subscribers, Soul City. So, and it allows me to communicate with the people when I don't want to be sitting there looking at the computer just talking. I might just want to be having fun. I might want to be doing something. We could team up. We could do stuff. And I think that gives people more access to you, but in a place where you can still not feel as though you're sitting on a pedestal and talking. Like a lot of times, I do feel like when I do lives, sometimes it's me sitting on the pedestal and talking. But I feel as though people need that because a lot of times I can't get to my Instagram messages that fast. And I get a lot of messages, like 100 messages. No, I get like 50 messages a day now. Because so I would say, what time is it? 8:30. I get lunch. I would say, what's going on, Mike G? I'm gonna just shout you guys out when I get to the station before I go back in, go inside. But I feel as though I will die on the hill of being who I am, and video games is a part of me. And I feel as though I would die on the hill of having wild times with women and teaching financial education because that's all part of me. And in the next couple of years, we're going to see who's willing to die on the hill because advertising is going to go way down. If I don't know if it's just, I know it's not just me actually, because I know a lot of content creators. A lot of content creators are seeing their monthly pay go down. A lot are seeing their monthly pay go down. And you're going to start to see who was really willing to die on that hill of making the content they wanted to help people, and who is going to keep switching. And even if you keep switching, it's not guaranteed that you're going to make that money. It's just not. It's not a bad thing. It's not a good thing. I just want to prepare you guys for what you're going to start to see on YouTube. I'm almost at the thing. Get some food and that's it. Give me a second, y'all. Let me see. He said, Megatron says, I'm going to read the content backwards on one of the Donuts. My screen name on YouTube is my gamer tag. Okay, hit me up. I'm on both Xbox and PlayStation, but I normally play Xbox. But unfortunately, PlayStation is the only one that allows you to stream on YouTube without a bunch of capture cards and all this other stuff that I'm not really trying to get. So just if you can add me on what's the name? Add me on PlayStation or Instagram. Now my username is the same. It's just got an underscore at the end of it on PlayStation. But I'm gonna take y'all to Dunkin' Donuts with me real quick. The thing about this is this, y'all. I can get y'all comments. Let me see. Let me shout everybody out again. Romy, what up? QI, I hope I answered I answered that comment you made. My brother just Mel, my brother just Mel guy. Ah man, if you haven't seen the videos when I was if you haven't seen the videos when I was in at the boat cruise, that's my brother right there with the dreads. Port City, what's going on? Hey man, she's your girl, but she's my pro. Big facts, Port City. Big facts. Good morning, ma'am. How you doing? May I have a what do I want today, y'all? Let me get a egg and cheese croissant. Thank you. Hold on, y'all. 215, what's going on, man? He says like another language. Thank you.
Good morning.
Thank you. I see what you're saying, but there's tons of video that get pushed with limited ads. No, it's so yes, there are some videos that get pushed with limited ads. But even with that, it's the majority are not, way farther than the majority. When I tell you, like I was just watching Roberto versus the World the other day, and he said something that I understood, but because I've been doing YouTube for 15 years, I understood this a long time ago, and I was just willing to accept it. But he was like, he slowed down making content for a minute, and people start creating like other channels and other websites. Because
Thank you.
you're welcome, man. Because you get too many yellows. If you get man, we talk. The reason why I be skeptical about telling you this is that a lot of creators don't a lot of people who are not creators are not gonna understand this. If you get one or two yellows, you'll be okay. Every now and then you get one or two yellows. But when you get all yellows, no, your videos don't take off. Your videos don't take off. Trust me. And then the bad thing is that right now with the economy being bad on YouTube, Google starts laying off people, right? As Google starts laying off people, and people start being laid off from YouTube, right? The time it takes to get your video from yellow to green, man, it's still going in 7 days, but normally it'd be done in like 3 days. Now you might have to wait 5 days. And then if you're dropping content consistently back to back to back, and if they got you in that pattern of getting yellow check marks, like for me, I've luckily been taken out of the pattern of getting yellow check marks on all my videos, and now I'm kind of on a pattern of only getting yellow check marks on videos where the thumbnail has a woman in it. This is the pattern I'm on now. where I only get yellow check marks, and it's not all women. It's if the video and the whole thing people will say is, hey, why don't you just hold the video in the back and don't premiere it until it turns green? The issue with this is that if you're consistently pushing out content as you go, and this is another thing we're going to talk about real quick before we go inside. If you're consistently pushing out content and you're waiting for that green check mark, then the content becomes old. And like, I can't imagine putting out a video I did months ago today, because it might not feel in at the time. So whenever you see a video, it's usually just because I've recorded it like a week ago or a month ago at the max. So it's maybe 2 months if I'm doing a Black Man's Guide and I'm doing other videos in between. But again, I rarely do that because it takes away from the oomph of the video. Well, at least for me. But a lot of people don't understand that if you wait for the yellows to turn green, then you'll post a lot less videos. And we are now, with people are in an economy, if you're on YouTube, you have to post a lot of videos to compete with the people that are posting a lot of videos that are just not, I don't want to say quality, because quality is relative to what you believe. People are posting a lot of videos that's too easy to do. Kind of like the Pop the Balloon Challenge. It's super easy to make a dating video. And if somebody posts 20 of them and they go in the algorithm, but you're only posting one video a month or one video a week, no matter how much quality your video is, my boy, you're going to be way down the line. Now, you still might get a couple views. You might get a couple views, but it ain't really going to hit anymore. So what I'm doing is I'm keeping up with the quality of the video, because you never want to drop the quality for quantity when it comes to videos. You never want to drop it. But I mean, never want to trade it off, rather, like completely. But in this for creators, we get out of here. We already talked about dying on the hill. But you need, in this economy, if you're going to be a YouTube content creator, I see we got a couple up in here. If you're going to be a YouTube content creator, you need to drop videos at least 3 times a week, or your channel will go into no man's land. And you don't want to be in no man's land when this whole economic wave starts of people stop losing their job and becoming content creators. Because if you're in no man's land, even if you're just there to get your message out and you're not there for the money, your message is going to get swallowed by 10,000 Pop the Balloon challenges. It's going to get swallowed by 10,000 20v1s. Like, it's the oversaturation of content on YouTube. They're going to call it something like the content apocalypse, where people are just throwing content on YouTube because it goes with the algorithm. And if you're not putting out enough content, there's a lot of channels that's going to die out. And you're speaking to somebody who's been around 15 years, y'all. I don't want you guys to think that I don't know everything, but I'm telling you guys this from being here in 2009 to still being at a top level. I might not be the highest YouTube content creator that you see, but I'm still at a top level 15 years later. I'm telling you, this is what's coming. This is what's coming, pause. What's coming is, pause, a content apocalypse where now people don't have careers and they're flooding YouTube with content. And if you're not at least a decent rate, my boy, I'm not saying don't do YouTube, dude. I'm not saying don't do YouTube. I'm just saying you're gonna have to lower your expectations a lot. Let me get to your end of your comments. We're gonna get up out of here. Brother gotta get to work. Start this day. Gotta eat my food too. Ooh. Alright. Again, shout out to my brother, man. That's my brother again, man. Hey, Swifty, what's up, Swift? You have integrity you have to have integrity to be comfortable with being you, to not conform to trends and create your own content. I agree, but I agree. Let me start with that. But the reason it's hard for me to, I'm just making noise. Hold up. I agree, but the issue is, it doesn't mean that people who don't stay consistent don't have integrity. Because I know sometimes when you say you have to have integrity, that means if you don't do it, then you don't have integrity. But yeah, but it's tough, man. You can have integrity, but if you need the money, you still might change. You still might change if you need the money. So I don't know, man. You gotta have the money and integrity. Um, Mike G, what's going on? You not Philly? Dope tweet or something, man. All right, y'all. We in the building. We gotta go to work now. I appreciate you guys for joining me this live Deep Talk episode 26. Um, you gotta. Are you willing to die on that hill? It's your boy FRE $H Fresh at the Flyboy Way. That's TheFlyBoy. Don't ask why. Just check out the channel, and I'll see you in the next Deep Talk. Peace.